Hey, now in this video, we're going to be talking about how the service that you provide and the customer experience that you create, your performance is going to trump the product that you sell every single time. So stick around. Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me today. Now, as always, for sales training, for motivational content, and to level up your leadership, make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss anything. Now, I know that's a bold statement to say that the service that you provide and the customer experience is going to trump the actual product. But assuming that the customer has a need for your product or for your service, the way that you present it, the way you establish rapport, and the experience that you create along the way will often exceed the individual product benefits. Now, they've done studies with hundreds of thousands of consumers based on their perception of how a sale of a product or service went. And customers often agree at a very high level that the experience that is created by the salesperson will overcome individual features or benefits of the product when they're making the purchase. Now let's talk about service and performance. To provide service is to provide something of value to somebody else. Performance is defined as executing or accomplishing a task or feat. Performance is really what creates the experience. How well did you perform throughout the sale or providing the service? That's what's going to create the experience. And experience is what people talk about. Experience is what keeps people coming back. How did they receive those services? How did they receive those products? What is their perception of you and your company? Let me give you an example here. Customer experience is why people will go out to dinner and pay more for a steak to be served by somebody else and be able to throw peanuts all over the floor. You can make that same steak and you can probably make it better at home, but by going out, it eliminates all the prep work. It eliminates all the planning. It eliminates the mess. It eliminates the cleanup. You'll go pay for that service and you expect a certain experience to take place while you're there. Or you'll pay even more for that same steak if it's a special occasion and you're going to be served by somebody in a tux at a very high-class restaurant, and it's somebody that can advise you on what will pair well with that steak. You have certain expectations based on the environment and based on how it is served up to you. The overall customer experience is the sum of all the parts. It's the sum of all the experiences and the time that the customer spends with you purchasing your product or your service within your business. Now, keep in mind, it's not just how they're treated by you, but it's their perception of this entire event, right? It's the outside sources. Like, is it too hot or too cold in your business? Are there outside noises that are distracting? It's their whole perception of what takes place. And keep in mind, people's perception is their reality. How they perceive things to be true, it's going to be true to them. So you have to have these checkpoints along the way with how it's going, not how you perceive it's going, but what's most important is how they perceive that the sale is going. Now, I've said this before. Knowledge breeds confidence, confidence breeds enthusiasm, and enthusiasm sells. Enthusiasm is a pinpoint in helping to create a quality customer experience. And at the very beginning of that statement, I said knowledge, right? So product knowledge is something that will either significantly build up your sale or it can detract from it. And the reason being is it instills confidence in the individual making the sale. And when that person has confidence, they're more enthusiastic, they're more excited. And a sale at its core is the transfer of that enthusiasm. If I'm excited because I know my product, if I'm excited because I know myself and I know my service that I'm selling to somebody, then all I have to do is transfer that excitement to my potential customer. And when they're as excited as I am about that, then guess what happens? They end up oftentimes purchasing the product because there's such a high level of excitement and enthusiasm, and it's a product or service that they need. Don't forget that. I mentioned that at the beginning. It has to be a product or service that the potential customer needs from us. So kind of coming to the tail end here, keep in mind when you know about something, when you're passionate about something, when you're excited and enthusiastic about yourself as the service or the product or the items that you sell, and you're engaging with another person, that level of energy and enthusiasm is going to trump the individual benefits of the product. It's going to trump the individual shortcomings of the product. And you have to keep in mind, people are either going to buy the product from you, they're going to buy the product from a competitor, or they're going to buy the product online, which I guess that falls under competitor also. So if you want to be the person that your potential customer does business with, then we need to take the time to study and learn. Get excited and knowledgeable about your product. Get excited about it so that when you're presenting it, it's with such a high level of passion and fervor that the other individual can't help but receive that excitement from you, and that transfer of emotion causes them to take action. Let me ask you, you've been in a position, I'm sure if you're watching this video, that you've been selling a product or service, and what ways do you use to get yourself excited? Besides product knowledge, what else do you do to get yourself excited about the product or service at hand? And I would love for you to share that in the comments down below, and let's continue the conversation after the video. Now, if you're interested in more sales tips and tactics, I've got a video on 10 ways to generate customers. I'm going to leave a link right up here so that you could take a look at that. I really appreciate you taking the time to tune in and join me today. I look forward to talking to you again soon, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.